is at Steak and Cheese, and the fantasy wonder himself, Dillon, at DillonBusby1. Email us at firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com with all your football and Packer questions and comments, and you just might find yourself making the show live. That's firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com. And we're back, happy as ever.
Dave's calm now.
Definitely, we're not just venting about the Badgers. That's not what we were just doing at all.
We are not airing our off-the-air conversations here, Dillon. That's family dirty laundry. Shut the hell up.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give Matt Flynn some credit here. He did keep the 2013 season alive for the Packers when they came in and Rodgers had his hurt shoulder.
Matt Flynn would be loving how many mentions he's getting on the show right now. We're definitely the number one show in Matt Flynn mentions in 2019.
Hey, Matt Flynn was not just an average quarterback. That's all I can say.
Nope, not biting that hook again.
We got to get that. We got to get that for an intro. This is Matt Flynn. You're listening to First and Goal.
Anyways, so Dillon, what are we doing? Studs and duds?
I love it.
Dillon,
let's get into a little bit of.
So quickly, Dillon, if you want to do something and you want to play around, you know what you can do is you can go to Spreaker.com, search First and Goal, download this episode, go through it, find this little part, make it into a drop, send it to me, and I will put it into. Because if you think my ass is going through all that work to make a funny thing, although it would be cool, I'm not. I got too much going on right now. So you can do that, and I will gladly put it into our intro.
You mean like I'm tweeting?
About it, just like, yeah, I was tweeting.
Yeah, that'd be a good one, too. Yeah, let's
I feel
get
like we should get some clips of Jay's rants and put them in his intros just on some shit. That would be amazing.
I'm telling you right now, people don't want to hear that crap.
Not even if we invite Drew Brees on the show and have that as the intro.
You ask our listeners. There's a good 10 minutes. They just skip right there.
That episode. I will hit the play button and walk away.
All right, Dillon. Studs
because
and duds.
I would literally commit career suicide on live air right then. I would
Dillon,
never get another job ever again.
Duds.
Yes, guys. Week 12. Let's get into it. At the quarterback position, got to mention him first and foremost. Lamar Jackson didn't even surpass 200 yards passing in this game, but did manage to squeeze in 5 touchdowns through the air. Just a great performance against the Rams on Monday night on the road. It was just insane. Guy's super efficient. Well on his way to battling Russell Wilson for MVP, well on his way to taking this team into the postseason and battling for a Super Bowl ring, as we heard in his soundbite. I'm sure both of you heard today that a Super Bowl ring is much more important to him than an MVP. So that's good to know. Ryan Tannehill, straight off the waiver wire and into your lineup, giving you 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. He had himself a day. Typical Jameis Winston, goes over 300 yards, throws 2 interceptions, but hey, makes up for it with 3 touchdowns.
Because he's averaging 1.15 touchdowns over interceptions is magical.
Could be. I'm sure, as everyone knows, it's been well reported, the first quarterback since the 80s to finish first in touchdowns and first in interceptions in the same season.
He's so good, I can do both, guys.
Kyle Allen bounced back with 3 touchdowns himself. Sam Darnold, 315 yards and 2 touchdowns. Drew Brees, 311 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Baker Mayfield, guys, we mentioned him plenty, playing the Miami Dolphins, had himself 327 yards, 3 touchdowns. And it was nice to see that bomb to OBJ.
Yeah, finally.
Yes.
After 35 attempts through the season in the red zone.
I mean, geez, right? After you're trading him and all the hype, it finally paid off against this weak, meager, hapless Miami defense. Hey, they finally got it done.
All I see is Freddie Kitchens doing this. All I see is Freddie Kitchens in the locker room going, all right, guys, that's how you do it. We're going to do it just like that for the next 10 games.
Yes, the two most exciting things that happened this week are OBJ caught a touchdown and a cat pooped on Jay's floor live on air.
I hope there's a hairball in it.
Going into Going into the going into the running backs. D, your boy, Derrick Henry.
Detroit.
Rattling off 159 yards, 2 TDs, 19 carries. That guy just keeps the train going. I doubted him. He's proven me wrong each and every single week.
Is that his fourth 150-plus yard game this season?
I know this. I know that Jacksonville never wants to see him again. I mean, they have
he's their
pictures
nightmare, really.
on the dartboard. Yes, he's the boogeyman in Jacksonville right now. It's ridiculous. Leonard Fournette got himself 24 carries, 2 touchdowns, 97 yards, almost hit that 100-yard mark. Mark Ingram had himself a great night amongst the Ravens who did. 15 carries, 111 yards, and a touchdown. Devin Singletary finally getting 100 yards. He had himself 106 to be exact. 21 carries,
week, of course.
Which was nice to see. And also nice to see Frank Gore, guys. We're going to talk about him a little bit more later. But moving into third place on the all-time rushing list, surpassing Barry Sanders. Now
Congrats
just behind,
to Frank.
Yes, just behind Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton. So it's amazing. And he's only 1,500 or so behind Walter Payton. So another season with the right team. And, Frank Gore could see himself in position.
Put him on Kyle Shanahan's offense in the 49ers and he'll get it. Just saying, a return to homecoming tour to go home. Just saying. It could happen.
Nick Chubb had a great game against that weak Miami D we just mentioned. 21 carries, 106 yards, and a touchdown. Rashad Penny, guys, it hurts to mention, but 14 carries.
I'm stop right here because this brought up a sore spot for me. Very
the cap
upset.
Throw up or a run?
No.
Oh.
The two guys you just brought up. I feel like I got sabotaged this week. Okay, because I was facing the number 1 seed in our league, and my roster with who he had to put on the bench because of a bye was set up to smash him, right? And this guy here tells me to sit my starting, and I forget the guy I'm facing happens to be his family member who he has been gloating about. These guys were all going to win and be in the top of their league. And because Kittle was on the bench, I freaking lost my matchup and had no chance.
Listen.
Mad at you.
I've got 2 things to say to you.
I still love you.
First of all, I'm sorry. I apologize. Kittle had a much better day than Jacob Hollister. Second of all, I used logic to give you that advice, and you're a grown man, you make your own decisions.
I went against his decision, and I played DJ Chark instead, and look at me. See? He is his own man. He's drinking Keystone Ice.
And Jay, honestly, it didn't feel good seeing Kittle score as much as he did, so.
Are you kidding me? Of course it didn't, because I'm there like, are you kidding me?
Well, it wouldn't have felt good with him in your roster. I mean, he's still doing it against your Packers now.
Okay, but there's a point in that game where I already decided it was lost after the third down on the first drive where he fumbled it, and I tweeted it out such. So at that point, it was all about my fantasy team then. It was like...
Fair enough. I've had those nights. Let's keep it going with...
By the way, though, I'm just giving you shit because that was good advice. Nobody expected him to play and outrun guys like that on that fricked up ankle.
He played the whole game. It came out said he was going to be limited because of his knee and his ankle.
I feel like they hoodwinked us.
I mean...
Just because of your fantasy team, Jay.
Speaking of hard-nosed Iowa guys, right? I mean, Kittle's another one. He's just a freak.
He's such a freak, dude. I swear to God... They better show me his lifeless body from here on out for me to bench him.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
Exactly.
He's a real tight end, unlike Hawkinson.
Well, I don't know, dude. Like that dude is something else. He literally okay, first of all, this is going to be a bit of a rabbit hole, but I'm going to keep it short. Everybody is acting like he purely outran Kevin King, who's like a 4.34 40 guy, right? But the fact of the matter is LaFleur came out and they said they'd reviewed the tape right away, and he actually recollected that or whatever. They were in quarters coverage, and Amos actually uncharacteristically bit from his deep safety spot on the crossing route and left Kittle coming across, wide open because he broke not to a crossing route. He broke into like a deep corner route, right? And King saw it and broke up and tried to catch him. Okay. This is my point, though. That's saying something for a 4.34 corner to see something and break and be in full stride, and a guy on a busted ankle that we know doesn't run anywhere near that, he can't catch him. That's ridiculous. That's like, I think somebody needs to have him pee in a cup. Just saying.
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell is tired of peeing in a cup.
Speaking of peeing in a cup, did anyone see what Gronk looked? Did anyone see what Gronk looked like on Fox NFL Sunday pregame?
Shredded like cheese.
Blue blazer, black turtleneck. He has a little tiny goatee right here, and there's a picture just found. It says Gronk looks like a guy heavily involved in a figure skating steroid scandal.
No, do you know what I realized while I was watching him on that show? He looks like Uncle Fester.
Uncle Fester didn't have hair.
Yes, he did in the Addams Family movie from 92, 93.
That was a wig.
It doesn't. No, he grew his hair out because he had amnesia from being in the frickin'
amnesia. You mean pneumonia?
He got amnesia, remember? He was in, what the heck's that? That tropic circle thing? The
Bermuda Triangle?
He got caught in the Bermuda Triangle.
Please tell me you did not get an A+ in geography.
I forgot. Okay, I couldn't remember it off the top of my head. I got 1,700 thoughts going through my head right now. Excuse me for pulling the wrong file out. Jesus. He did have hair in that movie because he had to take a razor and shaving cream to shave his head back bald to convince them that he was the Fester, even though he really was Fester. He didn't know it because he had amnesia. So at one point, Fester had hair. That's what I'm saying. When the Fester had hair in that movie, he's a fatter version. But just if Gronk gained weight with the way he was looking, and dude, was he cracked out? Because he was purposely holding his eyes really wide open the whole time.
I'm pretty sure the producer of the show told him, hey, you need to look at the camera. So Gronk, being Gronk's just looking at the camera, just stoned out of his mind. Yeah, that's Gronk.
Because he does back a CDC oil company now. So, I'm just wondering, how much of that had he consumed? Because that was, definitely, there was something, he made Adam Gase's Google look normal because he held it for so long on live TV. Dude, Adam
Gase is bad.
He did it for a couple of seconds. I watched for a half hour. Gronk's look never stopped.
It was 2 straight minutes.
Do you?
Dude, he was on. Oh my God, Gronk was on there.
Do you guys remember when Eminem was in the booth with Brent Musburger for a Michigan game?
It was horrible.
Ooh, that was pretty bad.
I laughed.
Go ahead and
that was
YouTube that for the first and goalers who haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was. I actually laughed. That was probably the most uncomfortable Brett Musburger had ever been in his life doing football. That if Brett Musburger had a comfort food, it would be football. If he had a comfort blanket, it would be football. And Eminem walked up in that booth and just ripped that shit right out from him.
And I felt bad for Eminem, man. I mean, some of us have been there. You're about to meet your hero. You get a little too, whatever, one toke over the line. And before you know it, you're on YouTube forever.
Oh, Dillon, I took your advice. I've been watching one wrestling match every time from history. I get home from work. I watch it on my phone. Today was John Cena versus the Spirit Squad after the pay-per-view night, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels guest referees.
It'll improve your life. You just need
Woo!
one nostalgic match a day.